everyone, my name is Carol Holmes and I'm a student in Dr. Langston's Anatomy and Physiology class, 142, and my topic today is the 5 organs that make up the GI tract and their function. So let's get started. Five organs that make up the gastrointestinal tract and their function. So beginning at the mouth, food enters the mouth and starts the process of ingestion, or that process is known as ingestion. Travels through the mouth, through the pharynx, the esophagus, the stomach, is churned in the small intestine, goes all the way around through the large intestine, and then is excreted finally through the anus as feces. So in the mouth, it undergoes mechanical breakdown via chewing, and in the stomach it undergoes churning, and then in the small intestine, segmentation. In the esophagus, it undergoes propulsion via swallowing through the oral pharynx, as well as peristalsis in the esophagus, stomach, small intestine, and large intestine. Now, in the small intestine and large intestine, it undergoes absorption via blood vessels as well as lymphatic vessels. And finally, in the anus, it is excreted as feces. So we can see here the pharynx and the esophagus. Pharynx is the upper portion, esophagus is the lower. Major functions are propulsion. Peristaltic waves move the food bolus to the stomach, thus accomplishing involuntary pharyngeal esophageal phase of deglutition. Comments and additional functions are that it is the primary food chute, and the mucus produced helps to lubricate the food passageways. The mouth and accessory organs. Major functions are ingestion. Food is voluntarily placed into the oral cavity. The secondary function is propulsion. The voluntary buccal phase of deglutition, swallowing, initiated by the tongue, propels food into the pharynx. Mechanical breakdown, mastication, chewing by the teeth, and the mixing movements of the tongue. Digestion, salivary amylase in saliva produced by the salivary glands begins the chemical breakdown of starch. So the small intestine and associated accessory organs, liver, gallbladder, and pancreas. The major functions. Segmentation, the first major function is the mechanical breakdown and propulsion. Segmentation by smooth muscle of the small intestine continually mixes the contents with digestive juices along with short distance peristaltic waves, moves food along the tract, allowing sufficient time for digestive absorption. Digestive enzymes derived from the pancreas and brush border enzymes attached to microvilli membranes complete digestion of all classes of foods. Absorption. The breakdown products of carbs, proteins, fat, and nucleic acids is nucleic acid digestion, plus vitamins, electrolytes, and water are absorbed by active and passive mechanisms. Comments and additional functions, of which there are plenty which can be said about small intestine and these various organs, is that they are highly modified for digestion and absorption, circular folds, villi, and microvilli. So these are highly specialized tissues. The stomach. The major functions are mechanical breakdown and propulsion. Peristaltic waves mix food with gastric juices and propel it into the duodenum. Digestion. Pepsin begins the digestion of proteins. Absorption. It absorbs a few fat-soluble substances such as aspirin, alcohol, and some drugs. Comments and additional functions are that it stores food until it can be moved into the duodenum. The hydrochloric acid is bacteriostatic and activates protein and digesting enzymes. The mucus produced helps to lubricate and protect stomach from its own self-digestion. The intrinsic factor produced is required for most intestinal absorption of B12. Very important organ. And finally, we come to the large intestine. The major functions include digestion. Some remaining food residues are digested by the enteric bacteria, which also produce vitamin K and some B vitamins. Absorption. It absorbs most remaining water, electrolytes, largely NaCl, which is salt, and vitamins produced by bacteria. Propulsion. It propels feces toward rectum by haustral churning movements and mass movements. Finally, last function is, of course, defecation, which is a reflex triggered by rectal distension, and it eliminates feces from the body. Very important. What goes in must come out. So comments and additional functions are that it temporarily stores and concentrates residues until defecation can occur. Copious mucus produced by goblet cells eases the passage of feces through the colon. All right, thank you very much, folks, and I hope you learned what you needed to. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.